I've read a lot about pirates and tyrannical emperors, mythological gods. Reading about Hunter S. Thompson's a lot like reading about those guys, and the more you read about him, you start to get the feeling it was probably all part of his plan. He knew the only way to live forever was to be remembered, and to be remembered, you have to be memorable. The only way to be memorable is you actually have to do things worth talking about, like spending an entire year riding around with the Hells Angels motorcycle gang. This is my Hunter S. Thompson collection. First up, we have Hells Angels. Now, what you need to know is all these YouTubers today, all these street journalists, from the little guys with lav mics and humble followings all the way up to the big dogs and billion-dollar enterprises, all of them in one way or another, whether they even realize it or not, were fathered by this man and this book. This marked his transition from small-time newspaper writer to the father of gonzo journalism, a term he coined. This book has everything you would assume it has. There's sex and drugs and fights and murder and even rape. Hunter acknowledged he'd been drunk and exhausted pretty much the whole time he wrote this. And he went on to say after spending so much time with the Hells Angels, he wasn't sure whether he was still doing research or if they had fully absorbed him. This is a really great, quick read, and even with all that terrible stuff I just mentioned, it's hilarious. The menace is loose again. The Hells Angels, the 100-carat headline, running fast and loud on early morning freeways, low in the saddle, nobody smiles, jamming crazy through traffic at 90 miles an hour down the center stripe, missing by inches, like Genghis Khan on an iron horse, a monster steed with a fiery anus, flat through the eye of a beer can and up your daughter's leg with no quarter-assed and none given. Show these squares some class, give them a whiff of the kicks they'll never know. Ah, these righteous dudes, they love to screw it on. Next up is one everyone's heard of. This is Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. This is Hunter S. Thompson's biggest claim to fame, his masterpiece, his magnum opus, as it were. Everyone's seen the movie, which is great. In fact, I'm working on another video where I talk about books that were actually made better by the movie, and this is definitely going to be on there. If you even kind of like the movie, you should definitely read the book. I won't say the book's better than the movie, but the movie isn't exactly better than the book either. They're both just great on their own. This is funny, this is stressful, it's a good time. Definitely read Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. The next one I have for you is Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail 1972, or just 72. I have not read this, but I've read a lot about it. We'll get into that. This is all about Richard Nixon's campaign for re-election in 1972, and I actually live in the city Richard Nixon was born in, so perhaps that is why I'm dragging my feet a bit on this, but I do plan to read it. Next up, we have this big chunky girl here. This is the first volume of the Gonzo Papers. This is called The Great Shark Hunt. The Great Shark Hunt. You gotta say that. You gotta take your time to enunciate those words. If you say it too fast, it sounds like something else. Go ahead, give it a try. You'll hear it. This is a collection of essays Hunter wrote from the middle of the 50s to, I believe, the end of the 70s. They cover everything from the Kentucky Derby to the Super Bowl, all of them really manic and scattered and hilarious. Highly recommend. We now have the second volume of the Gonzo Papers. This is Generation of Swine, Tales of Shame and Degradation in the 80s. This is a collection of articles he wrote for the San Francisco Examiner in the 80s, all of them very funny. The whole Iran-Contra situation is a big focal point of this, and it's interesting to go back and read about that, knowing what we know now, given they've made TV shows about that whole situation. The next one I have is The Rum Diary. This was also adapted into a movie, also starring Johnny Depp. This is about a newspaper reporter from New York City who moves to San Juan, Puerto Rico. I almost said San Juan Capistrano. A newspaper reporter moves from New York to San Juan, Puerto Rico, and chaos ensues. The book's great, the movie's great. Highly recommend. The next one we have is Kingdom of Fear, and this copy is a little messed up because I spilled red wine all over the back of it, which I think Hunter S. Thompson would approve of. This is partially a memoir, the theme of which is rebellion against authority. Now, are 100% of Hunter's stories 100% true? Who knows and who cares? They're enjoyable. I mean, within the first few pages, we're told about a time he was drunk driving a convertible through the mountains with his top down and a mountain lion jumps into the car. What more do you want? What do you want, the truth? You can handle the truth because the truth is boring. Read Kingdom of Fear. The last book I have written by Hunter S. Thompson is the last book written by Hunter S. Thompson. This is Hey Rube. I haven't read this. It's mostly sports commentary from when he wrote a column by the same name for ESPN. I'm sure it's great. I'll get to it eventually. Okay, that's my collection of books written by Hunter S. Thompson. I don't have them all. There's still about 7 or 8 I need to add to my collection. There's even a book of his photography floating around that I'd like to get my hands on. This next book wasn't written written by Hunter S. Thompson, but it was written about Hunter S. Thompson. This is Gonzo, The Life of Hunter S. Thompson. I was initially a little hesitant to pick this up because I thought there was no way it could be as good as anything written by Hunter S. Thompson. I was also a little put off by the structure. Jan Wenner, who founded Rolling Stone magazine and who worked closely with Hunter over the years, he basically interviewed a bunch of people who were close to Hunter S. Thompson, and this book is essentially a collection of interviews, but it all follows, there's a through line, but it keeps bouncing back and forth between the different interviews. And it is so good. I mean, this is fantastic. It's so well put together. It's funny. It's informative. Honestly, it's a really easy read too. It's truly one of my favorite books I own. If there's a Hunter S. Thompson in your life, if there's someone who's even seen Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and they want to get more into Hunter S. Thompson, you need to gift them this. They'll love you forever for it. It's really hard to pick a favorite story from this, but one that sticks out is after a several day long bender, he knew he had to get some sleep finally. So he goes to his motel room and rips the phone cord out of the wall. He then drives his car up onto the curb and parks it parallel to the door leading into his motel room. He then climbs over the top of the car and into his motel room and locks the door. He did all that just to not be disturbed. He knew no one was going to climb over his car to knock on his hotel room door. I can't recommend this enough. I do have 2 honorable mentions. These are not by Hunter S. Thompson. They're by his good friend and associate, Dr. Gonzo himself, played by Benicio del Toro in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. This is The Autobiography of a Brown Buffalo and The Revolt of the Cockroach People by Oscar Zeta Acosta. These are both terrific little reads. Hunter S. Thompson is referenced in both of them. He actually wrote the introduction for this one. I keep them on the shelf next to the Hunter Thompson books where they rightfully belong. Side note, I am a photographer by trade, and last year, just for fun, I recreated this cover with a good friend of mine. It's on my Instagram, but I'll put it somewhere. It should be here right now. You'll see it. Hunter S. Thompson was a larger-than-life character. He was a bleeding-heart idealist. He was a vice-addicted wild man. He took big steps when he walked, and he left behind big shoes that have yet to be filled. Above all else, he had a passion for words. Do yourself a favor and read some of those words. He certainly had a way with them. Subscribe if you will. Share if you dare. Thank you for watching.